Hello, hello. We have a special guest today. We have Miss Grace. She is a mental health nurse, practitioner. She's a life strategist, a speaker, and a published author. She is the founder of SMILE Biz LLC, a personal development company, Woman Arise Academy, and Own Your Story Meet and Greet. It says that she is a master at teaching women strategies to reach their goals with her signature map system. And her bio is extensive. So just know that she is all that. And so we're going to get into it and talk about all that she does. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yes.
So I just want to jump right into it. Your expertise as a mental health nurse, it says that you understand the importance of self-development skills, behavioral modifications, and things like that. And you use that to help women who feel overlooked and undervalued walking their true selves. How did the two mesh? Like, how did you go
together?
Yeah.
Well, I've been working in the mental health field now about like 10 years. I've been a nurse practitioner psychiatric nurse practitioner for about 4 years. So when I actually got into the space, I really wasn't even planning on becoming a life strategist or speaker, any of that stuff. I never actually had planned to do that. What actually happened was in 2018, 2017, I went through a really rough breakup, a broken engagement. And then, so I went through that process and how to deal with that. And in 2018, I actually had rededicated my life to God. So at that fall that year, I actually had started blogging. I never had any thoughts of doing life coaching, life strategist, speaking, none of that stuff. I actually started doing Christian blogging, and I would use like biblical principles, stories, and just to touch a base on acceptance, rejection, a lot of things that everyone pretty much deals with. So it was more centered for women, and just deal with forgiveness, all those different internal things that we tend to struggle with, right? So it took off. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, people would even resonate with people. I was just writing because I'm a writer. So that's that's one of my creative gifts. So I just started doing that. And then going into 2019, I asked God, what do you want me to do with this? You want me to continue blogging? What's going to do with this? And this is kind of how the speaking and the coaching thing kind of emerged for me to be able to help women to deal with these things, because it really starts emotionally and mentally. How we see ourselves and how we see the world is really based on how we feel inside in our mindset. So that's kind of like how I merged the two, because I deal with personal development. And like I said, everything starts with the inner self first. You can't, I always tell people, you cannot have external manifestation until you do some internal transformation. So that's kind of like how I use a lot of my skills I developed in mental health, just dealing with your emotions and your mindset to kind of help women to be able to start dealing with their internal struggles. And that's how it just kind of like merged together. So it's part of my call. So
yeah, definitely. Like, it's all about mindset. Like, it has, if you don't believe it to be true, then it won't be. If you believe that it is true, then it will be. And I read that, at a certain point in your life, you didn't understand your own value, and you kind of used those experiences to challenge other women to grow. What was that time period like in your life when you didn't value yourself? And what strategies do you use to help women to do what you did?
Well, it all started in my childhood. I went through a lot of childhood trauma. When I was younger, my parents actually had separated, and we lived in a battered woman shelter. So I saw my mom become a single mom like overnight. And me being the oldest, it was really difficult, especially trying to make friends, because you live in a shelter, your friends will go, they'll find a place. Like, those relationships was so hard. So growing up, I never really saw healthy relationships with my parents. I never really saw healthy relationships. So that's really started affecting how I saw myself and how I valued myself, which I didn't. So because of that, you know, I'm obviously not making that as an excuse. I definitely went through the years and process and got some help for those issues that I had. But in that time period, because of me having a poor relationship with my father, dealing with seeing unhealthy relationships, toxic and dysfunctional behaviors, it started making me operating that way, right? Because it became, I normalized those things like, oh, that's how everyone acts, you know, that's how everyone speaks, that's how everyone thinks about themselves. And because of that dysfunction that was there and the trauma that I didn't deal with for so many years into my adulthood, I started migrating into situationships, started migrating to these relationships that were not fruitful whatsoever. And although I was in these committed relationships for a very long time, they were very dysfunctional. So that's how I thought I didn't value myself enough to know that, Grace, there's more to you than this. You know, there's you don't have to settle here. And it took me a long time to realize that, like, okay, it starts with me. If I want people to treat me better, I have to treat myself better, right? I have to value myself. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to be able to do that. So this is how I help the women. It really starts internally, really helping reshaping their mindset and getting to the root of why do they even have the beliefs that they have? Why do you feel like you're not valuable? You know, why do you feel worthless? Why do you feel like you're not good enough? And like I said, a lot of times that stuff goes back from our childhood. It has to do with either experience we had in our childhood, or, you know, social media is a big thing now. A lot of people comparing themselves on social media. It's a lot of different facets with that. So it goes so much deeper than surface. So it's about getting to the root of your issues. Why do you believe this about yourself, right? Get into we call them limiting beliefs, because they literally limit you. So I use the strategy, getting to the root. So it's a framework, get to the root of why do you even think about yourself like that? So you got to get to the root, start dealing with those, start processing those things before you can even change your mindset. You can't change anything until you start dealing with your past. So it really starts there, really get into the root first.
Why do you think so many women are going, because it seems like everyone that I know, they have some type of limiting belief or trauma or something that they're trying to overcome. I haven't really run into any women that are already, you know, where you are, you know, or where you're working towards. So why do you think it's so much trauma and drama going on?
Well, I know childhood trauma experiences do play in that factor, your family, you know, your upbringing, but I also think society. You know, I think as women, like, you know, it's so much different than it was back in the day when you only had like one role. Like women are killing it right now. You know, we have women who are CEOs, women who are very highly educated now. We're just doing so many different things. And I feel like society sometimes like to put you in a box. Right, like we're like one size fit all, and we're not one size fit all. You know, we all come with different things, we all have different walks of life, we all got different experiences, you know, things that's happened to us. So there goes that comparison thing, you know. So I feel like sometimes society try to put you in this box where you feel like you have to compete versus collaborate, and then that makes you start feeling like you're not good enough. Oh, I'm not killing it like sister over here. Oh, look, she's doing this and a third. How come I'm not where she is? So instead of looking at someone as to kind of help you, oh, this is what I inspire and aspire to be, you start looking at as competition. So I think that's why a lot of women deal with a lot of those limiting beliefs, but a lot of our stuff comes from our childhood experiences, but we just tend to block it because we don't want to deal with it, right? Who wants to really sit with themselves and deal with themselves? It's hard.
It's hard.
Self-inventory is hard. It's really hard. So that's why I feel like a lot of women are going through a lot of that stuff. Is a lot of unresolved issues from childhood, toxic relationships, family upbringing, society, social media. There's a lot of external things that can cause people to feel that they're not good enough, they're not valued.
And I think as women too, like, I say it all the time, I don't even have time to even address any of the things that I'm like, I have so much to do and so much responsibility. I don't really have the time. You know, although I understand now because I'm in therapy, thank God. But, you know, at one point I just didn't think that I had the time to sit and deal with it because I got to keep moving. I got to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that, I don't know if you're still a single mom now, but that you were a single mom and you were balancing school, work,
Yeah.
building businesses, you know, how were you able to maintain and juggle all those things?
Whew, grace of God. Honestly, systems. I mean, I'm still a single mom. I am still a single mom. I mean, my son's father is very active in his life, but I predominantly, you know, take on most of everything. But systems really kind of like help me. I I'm created as a visionary. You know, God designed me to, I'm a visionary. I always think ahead about goal setting. So for me, it was about the outcome. It was about the goal. Like I had a vision that was given to me. So I had no choice but to make the steps to get there. It wasn't about me anymore. I have a child, you know what I'm saying? So I had to start thinking logically, start thinking of, okay, this is the goal, this is what I want to do in my life. So what do I need to do to get there? So, and honestly, not only systems, having structure in your life, I had a routine. You know, I had a routine because I still had a child. I had to get him to school, I had to take care, do all the different things like that. But I had a routine. Also, a support system. I
Right.
had a support system. Like I said, my son's father is very active in his life. So he was very, you know, he came into, so he was very active. I had a village, you know, to help me during graduate school. And I thank God for my village. So I had a
Yeah.
village. I had people, my family, his other side of the family, they pitched in. You know, my son's grandmother, his father's mother, took Eden every weekend. So I
Oh,
worked as
wow.
a nurse in the staff. I worked as a staff nurse in the hospital, and I went to school during the day. And my program was online for graduate school, but I had to go up to Philly. Like my last year, I had to go to Philly every semester to do some simulations. So what I would have to do was I had to work Friday, Saturday. I would work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. For 12 hours.
Wow.
So she would take him for a whole year. He went to her house every weekend so I could
How old
work.
was he then?
When I started graduate school, okay, I started in 2015. My 2017, 2018 was my last year. How Eden's about to be 15 now. He was young. He's about to be 15 this year. I have a whole teenager, so he's about to be 15. I've been out of graduate school for what, like 5 years? What's it? 5 years. So he was like 9 or 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
9
that's
or
not
10.
too bad, you
It's
know?
not too bad. He's used to, like, he's been seeing me in school. I went through school in steps. I didn't go the traditional way. So I went and got my associate degree. I went to school late in life. So that's why I tell people all the time, don't count yourself out. I did not go to nursing school I didn't go back to school until I was 25. I didn't get into nursing school until I was 27. So don't count yourself out. So I went and got my associate degree. Then I went and got my bachelor's degree. Then I went and got my master's degree. So my son has seen me pretty much in school, and he understands structure because structure was put there when he was a baby. So I went
Yeah.
back to school when he was only 3 months old because I knew I wanted a better life for him and myself. And I knew that I just had to sacrifice. That was just a season that I was going to have to sacrifice so I can be able to be where I am right now. So it's just about having the right systems, having a good support system. You got to encourage yourself. You got to constantly encourage yourself. You have to remind yourself of the bigger picture. You know, there's a bigger picture at hand. It's bigger than you. So that's kind of like what helped me get through balancing
Yeah.
motherhood, going to graduate school, working, all that. You can do it. Anyone can do it, honestly. You can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like your philosophy. Motherhood is an extension, not a limitation.
Yes.
I love that. Can you just explain, like, you know, where you got that philosophy from and what does it mean
Honestly,
to you?
what does it mean to me? Because a lot of times, mothers think like once they have children, that's it. You know, I feel like motherhood is a gift. It's beautiful. Children are a inheritance from the Lord. It's beautiful. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not just who you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a role. Let's just put it that way. That's a role, but that's not core of who you are. So with that, it's just sharing, letting people know, like, just because your mom does not mean your life is over. Just because your mom does not mean that you can't go after your goals. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean whatever they are, personal or professional goals. Yes, there's things that you have to balance and adjust, but that does not mean that your life is over because you're a mom. So I just want people to understand that's just an extension of who you are. That's just another, that's a role that you have, but it should not limit you for going after what you want and what you desire. Listen, I lives my life, okay?
Right. That's good, because a lot of mothers do. They're like, oh, I'll wait till the
Yeah,
kids get older, or, and then you're stuck with an empty
right,
nest, nothing to do,
right.
and you're essentially starting over.
Starting over.
Um,
And I feel like this too. Where does the buck stop? Okay, the kids get older, and I understand everyone's circumstance is different. I get it. But the kids get older, then what's going to be the next excuse? There's something else life is going to life. So the kid's going to get older. What's going to be the next thing that's going to block you from doing what you need to do for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So your kids need to be able to see too. They need to be able to see that I look at things through a holistic view. They need to see the health in you, right? They can't see you running raggedy out here and seeing you putting your dreams on back burner. Because how are you even going to encourage and motivate your kids to go after what they desire if you're not doing it? So kids look by modeling. So you have to model, be an example. So at what point are you going to do for yourself? Because the kids get older, there's going to be something else that's going to pop up and you're like, I can't do it now. If not now, when?
Yes.
That's my philosophy.
So just to wrap things up, I know we talked about a lot of different things. For somebody that's watching or reading this and they're feeling, they're not being valued, they're, being hard on themselves. Can you give just 3 tips? I know you have a whole framework and courses around these things. Can you give just 3 tips for somebody just to kind of motivate them to push forward?
Okay. I believe in positive affirmations. I believe in speaking life over yourself. So I work in private practice. So I have done I have given clients, like, they'll write at least 5 things about yourself, right? Positive things. And you need to sit down and be intentional about it. So write 5 positive things about yourself and speak it every day. Once you start speaking things every day, speaking these positive things about yourself, speaking life for yourself, you literally are reframing your thought process, right? Because it turns into a power and belief, and you start believing those things. When you start believing those things, then you start operating in it. So I believe, positive affirmation, speaking life. I do things through a biblical principles too, not just practical strategies. So not just the positive affirmations, but also go back in the word of God and find scriptures about yourself, right? What does God say about you? Write those things down, start speaking those things. So that's part of speaking life, right? So you have those things. Then you got to give yourself grace. We are all flawed human beings, and we're just trying to make it.
Yes.
That's it. None of us have arrived, okay?
Right.
None of us have arrived. We all still got work. We all still got work to do. Man, I have not arrived. Right. I have a lot of inner work I still am doing and still processing. So you got to give yourself grace. You got to give yourself space, like, okay, this is where I was. Look at where I am now, and start being more, acknowledge where you are. It's okay where you are. So giving yourself grace, like forgiving yourself of your past and all those different things, letting those things go. You cannot take them with you. All these things are as dead weight and holding you down. So positive affirmations, speaking life over yourself, giving yourself grace. The third thing I would say, also surround yourself with people who are going to support and hold you accountable. They're going to support you. We cannot do life alone. You need a community. You need a community. So you want to get in a community of like-minded people who are either been where you've been at and can help you get to the next place. Because I always believe in aligning myself with people who are where I want to go, where I want to be, because it motivates me, and they can be able to impart wisdom and strategies to help me. So get some like-minded community, even if it's 2 or 3 people. Get people that you can talk to. You can be yourself. You can be vulnerable. You can be transparent with. So a community is very, very important. Those things will help you in your becoming process, and you start seeing yourself yourself, you start getting encouraged and motivated, and empowered, right, to walk in your true authentic self. And when you're walking in your true authentic self, right, people are going to migrate to you.
Mhm.
Literally, things will start migrating to you because you're being you, right?
Right.
So the right connections, the right alignments, the right resources, the thing you need will start coming to you because you're being who you're supposed to be. You're being who you're called to be.
Yes, I love those. And this was a great interview. You're so down to earth and just genuine,
Thank
and I love
you.
it. How can the people contact you? What services are you offering right now?
Yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm, of course, everybody know I'm on Instagram.
Right.
So you can find me on Instagram at Miss Grace Onuegbu, MS Grace Onuegbu, ONUEGBU. You can also find me at Woman Arise Tribe on Instagram as well. I'm also on Facebook. I have my personal page on there. My business page is SMILE BIZ LLC. We also have a community of a community of women, like-minded women, called Woman Rise Tribe on Facebook. So I am a minister. So I do help
Okay.
women also grow in their faith and also in personal development. The group, we also have a YouTube channel, Woman Rise Tribe, where we put videos on there as well. So that if you're looking for a community of women that kind of help support you, helping your becoming process, definitely look us up on Facebook, join our group. We want women of all walks of life, all walks of life, because you never know. Someone might give their life to the Lord. It's about
Right.
winning souls for me, baby. So
Yes.
I don't care what your past look like. Okay. You
Mm-hmm.
come up in that group so you can be renewed and refreshed. Okay. So that's that. My website is www.smilebizllc.com. I do have a course called the Live to Thrive course right now on there, where you can access, that's going to help you strategies to be able to thrive in your personal and professional life. So you won't have to choose. You don't have to
Right.
choose whether you got to have a personal life or professional life. You can have both. So that course is on there. I do have a planner on there as well. My books I've written is on there as well. So you can buy my books from there. We do have a conference coming up in
Ah,
August 12th. It's called Own Your Story Meet and Greet. This is our second annual conference. We are doing call for speakers. So you can go on the website, www.ownyourstoryconference.com. It's also on my social media platforms. Go ahead. If you are a Christian published author with a story to tell, go ahead and apply right now for the conference to be a potential speaker. So we have that. And then of course, soon we'll do the save the date to get people on the waiting list for people to wait for the tickets to drop. Last year was amazing. It was lit.
Where is it located?
Okay.
Where do
It
you
was
have the
so,
conference at?
the conference is going to be in Maryland. We haven't got the venue yet. That's to be determined, but
Okay.
it's going to be in Maryland this year. My vision is it's going to be in different places. So next year
Yes, come to Philly.
going to be somewhere else.
Well, Baltimore is not far. I could go to Baltimore.
Yes. So it's going to be Maryland. So right now we're doing a call for speaker submission. The last day of submission is February 17th. Then after that, we're going to start rolling out. And I am looking for partnerships. So any businesses, we do VIP, we're going to do swag boxes. So anyone who
Okay.
has a business, male or female, you want to partner up with us, you can purchase the partnerships on the website as well, so we can promote your business. So absolutely, we're looking for volunteers for the conference too. Listen, listen, I take it all. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
I want people to partner up with me so we could build. So I'm excited about it.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure speaking with you.
Same
And I'll
here.
definitely be in touch.
All right. Thank you for